Alright guys, today we are going to be going through some of the monsters that I would really like to see remade into Mythics. I know they don't do redesigns super often. It feels like we don't get a ton per era, but they do them, so I feel like most of these are definitely possible for them to actually remake at some point, and honestly, I would really love to see it. I think a lot of these monsters deserve more love. Maybe some of the newer players that weren't actually playing when these monsters were relevant deserve to experience them, and maybe they don't even know they exist, right? And really, this is just going to be like a fun little video. This is not meant to be taken seriously at all. But if there is perchance anyone at Social Point who is watching, take notes and make all these monsters into mythics, because yeah, I would love to see them again. I would love to use these monsters again, but obviously just right now as legendaries, you can't really do that. So to start things off, obviously my favorite monster, Skelectron. I would love to see him remade for a companion for the upcoming Soulslayer ancestor. I don't think it's going to happen. Like, realistically, it probably won't. If the rumors are true and it is going to be Nabotis, then I think wherever, yeah, Famelise, she's going to be like the obvious pick for a companion. I'm not sure about the other companion, but like realistically, I just don't see Skelectron being remade because he's not really a popular monster. I would really like to have like a Skelectron profile picture though, just for my profile. That would be wonderful. Obviously, yeah, this is a mythic, but I just wanted to include him in the list because, I don't know, he's my favorite monster. I want to see him remade. Getting into the non-mythics, first up, I've got Buratgor. This is a really fun monster. I love his design. He's super cool. I think I got him from a race back in the day, but I honestly don't remember, so don't quote me on that. If someone can tell me how this monster was available, I'd honestly love to know. And he's a fun monster skill-wise, too. This skill right here is super powerful, honestly. It's a great skill, and he's an attacker that can sustain himself with healing. Love that. I'm not really a huge fan of these type of skills that handicap you, but also give you, like, a really big buff. Not really my thing, but I don't know. It's a neat gimmick, I guess, if it's completely optional, like if there's other skills that are also viable. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Just a super fun monster. Elder Sporling is a really cool old monster. This is easily one of the coolest epic monsters. This was one of my favorites back in the day when I was a kid. And I think this would be really easy to make like a redesign of. It would be so easy to just give him like more mushrooms or maybe make him more like volcanic or something. They could do a lot with this design, and I think it would translate really well into a mythic. And just a heads up, y'all, if there is a monster that I do mention that does happen to have a mythic version, I do apologize. I am pretty knowledgeable and experienced at the game, but I mean, I am human too, right? Like, there's a good chance that I'm maybe forgetting a monster that did actually get remade or something. So yeah, please let me know in the comments if that is the case. But yeah, I do apologize in advance if that does happen throughout the video. Now, next up, I do have a group of monsters. So the VIP monsters from back in the day, they are so cool, and I can't believe we don't have all of them in Mythic version. Like, I think the only ones that we have, correct me if I'm remembering wrong, if there's someone I'm missing, Zyla, Valgar, and Kai, I believe, are the only ones that we have. I don't think we've got Scar, Hydrock, Hirwim, Nox, Uther, and they're honestly all really cool monsters. Like, the designs of all of these monsters are straight peak. I would love to see Nox the Condemned and Hydrock the Forgotten remade as mythics. They are insanely cool monsters, really good designs. Nox has some kind of fun gimmicks, if I remember. Like, I remember him being kind of like Barbados Rex, where he does damage to himself, but he also does very high damage. So maybe they could kind of play into that and not do what they did with Barbados Rex and make him like garbage but do damage to himself. But they could make him actually really powerful but damage himself. I think that could be fun. Hydrock, I don't think he had particularly interesting skills, but he's got a really fun design, and I think there's a lot that they could do with it. I also think doing the War Masters would be really fun, so same thing, they have done some of them. I know they've done Elvira, Thalassa, Barbary, Zara, but I believe they're missing Barbael, Necromancer, and Remtar. They've done Gortak also, if I didn't mention that. And then they're obviously missing Ragnarok too. I think Necromancer, Barbael, and Ragnarok could actually be some really cool mythics. And especially Ragnarok, like he was super versatile back in the day. I never had him, but I do remember him. He's one of the only double special element monsters. And yeah, he's really cool, and I think he would be a really awesome mythic. Oh, and I almost forgot about Sherazar as well. I am a big fan of the Magic Council monsters. I think they're really cool, and Sherazar is super dope as well. Another monster that I would love to see for a future synergy team next era would be Hukuai. So this is a very old new wave monster that was pretty powerful back in the day, if I remember correctly. Like you can't go wrong with like good skills and anticipation. He was a good attacker, and I just really love his design. He's awesome. Like obviously inspired by like kaiju, that kind of thing. He looks straight out of Pacific Rim, and I would really love to see him back. Some more monsters that I would like to see return are the generals and their companions. So obviously we do have some of them in mythic form. We've got like Adam, and we've got Thetis, Darmith there. These are monsters that were in the OG team shop. But there are some other ones that I don't believe we do have, like Shannara, Alces. There is some cool ones. And they also brought in pets for all of them, which I thought was a really fun idea. And they did also do the bodyguards as well. So I remember these were all available in the team shop, and you could just buy them for war coins. They were very accessible, especially for like newer players. Like they were somewhat expensive, I believe, but you could still work towards them completely like for free. It didn't really like cost you any like very valuable resources. You were just using your war coins for them. And yeah, they were really fun. I think bringing back those generals and like the bodyguards and pets would be a neat idea. Like I'm not itching for them to come back or anything, but I really wouldn't mind it. I think it would be a fun idea. I would also love to see these two like OG Revenge Squadron monsters make a return. So Darude is a really cool monster. I love his design. I think he would be a really fun mythic. And Spherenus as well. Please let me know if like I'm just remembering wrong and these ones have been remade, but I don't believe they have. Like I know there's a monster somewhere, like I think Cosmic or something that's pretty similar to Spherenus, but I don't think he is Spherenus or like a remake of him. But yeah, honestly, I'm not a huge fan of this faction, but I will admit most of the legendaries are pretty cool. Another monster that I would like to see return is Chris Andre. So I don't really remember how this monster like fit into the meta at that point, like if this monster was relevant, but she is so cool, and honestly, she's got like some pretty nice skills too. These two right here specifically are really so honestly they're all good. She's a good monster. She's a nice mix of like attacker, support, and denier all at the same time. But she makes it work. She doesn't feel like cluttered or not useful in any of those categories. So I could really see her being relevant if they did do a remake, as long as they don't just replace like some of these cool skills with something way worse, because sometimes the remakes are just like super dumbed down versions of the original monster. But yeah, I think this monster would be really neat to have return, and I would love to see what they do with her design too. She's got a very good design. Now this monster I really just want remade because I would love to see what they do with his design. This is honestly probably in my top 10 legendary monsters as far as like design goes. This is way up there. He's a really cool monster. Skill wise, he's not really all that interesting. The only cool thing about him is his extremely low cooldowns. Well, basically non existent cooldowns. But yeah, mainly just his design. I would love to see what they could cook up. Erdicus is less of a monster that I really want redesigned, although I do really like her. She is really cool. And more so like a monster that I think they should redesign because she's super iconic. She's used in a bunch of the breeding events like Galante and all of them, Violet. And she's really neat. Like, I think this monster deserves a redesign, honestly. I think Steak is another one of those monsters that really deserves a redesign. I think his design feels really unique. It's fun, it's cool, and he's got some really good skills to back it up too. Like, I remember him being a pretty powerful monster. I think he deserves it for sure. He deserves a mythic version. And finally, I do just want to shout out the star sign monsters. So, like, these four right here. I'm not like big into star signs or anything, but I just think the idea is fun, and I think they really just deserve some redesigns. They deserve some love. I never see anyone talking about these monsters, and I think they're really neat. All right, guys, that is pretty much it for today. I do have a few polls in the post section of my channel that I would really appreciate if people could go vote on. They are relevant to like the content that I will be continuing making. Like, one of the polls is about potentially live streaming. Another one is about war videos. I would really appreciate if people could go vote on them. It would really help me out a lot in just figuring out like what you guys want to watch. And I do apologize for the kind of rushed video. I am actually making this video before work. So if it did feel a little bit rushed, that's why. I think I'll be doing the villains book video next, so it may also be a bit of a shorter video, but hopefully I'll be making that one when I'm not strapped for time. Anyways, guys, I really appreciate anyone who's watched to the end of the video, and I will see you in the next one.